My first period came just before I turned 13. And I feel like I could talk about this for a really long time. A lot of things happened for my first period because, first of all, it was 10 days long. Not even kidding. And we were about to, well, first I had sort of, the pre-period, not the real thing, but sort of like almost there. And my mom gave me some panty liners. So then when the real thing came a few days before we left for vacation, I thought I could just use the panty liners as protection. So it's a couple days and I just have my panty liner in my underwear that I'm wearing under my yellow capris. And we go to the airport to fly down to Southern California. And we're in the middle of the air, thousands of feet up. And I'm sitting next to my little sister who is 9 years old, and knows nothing about periods. And I bleed through my yellow capris onto the airplane seat. Great. So I'm in the airplane bathroom trying to figure things out. Obviously, at that point, nothing really can be figured out. And then I remember being in the bathroom when we landed at the airport in Southern California, and my mom had taken my capris to go try and wash them out, like in the bathroom sink, as best she could. And all the ladies in the bathroom were commiserating about the fact that there was a girl in there who just had her first period and bled through yellow capris on the airplane, and they all gave their condolences through the bathroom stall door. And it was just awful. And then my pants were wet and I had to wear my mom's huge jean jacket around my waist, and my sister wanted to know what was going on, and I was so embarrassed, and it was just really embarrassing. And then, same trip, we were staying at my grandfather's house on Newport Bay. And at that time, myself and my male cousins and this really cute French boy who was just 2 years older than me, who was visiting because his grandma was friends with my grandma, decided to go swimming in the bay. So my first period, and my mom needs to teach me to put in a tampon. Putting it in went just fine. Taking it out, I thought I was gonna rip my uterus out. I thought it was never gonna come out. It was awful. I thought I was gonna die. I was like in this tiny little bathroom in the upstairs of my grandfather's beach house, and I thought, well, this is never coming out of me. I'm getting toxic shock syndrome and I'm gonna die. So that was my first period.
Worst period moment, or worst thing about period. So one morning I woke up and I had the worst cramps of my life. And I had never had bad cramps ever. And then just this one morning I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't even get out of bed. So I like rolled out of bed literally onto the floor, crawled to the stairs, and like crawled down 2 flights of stairs into the lower bathroom. I don't even know why I went down there, because there's a bathroom right next to my door, or next to my room, and was just like head in the toilet, like didn't even have to throw up, but it just felt that bad, and like rolling around on the tile floor in the bathroom for like 2 hours because it hurt so bad. And that was definitely my worst period moment.
I get really bloated, and coming up to it I feel exhausted and cranky, and not really cranky but really insecure. It sucks to have to carry around tampons and to think about like, oh, when was the next time that I have changed or when did I change my tampon, or when do I have to, or am I bleeding through, what clothing should I wear so that if I do bleed through nothing happens, or I don't know, just the constant thoughts of the side effects of a period.
Your
Oh,
period.
the worst thing about my period is the cramps. I hate cramps. I get really bad cramps too. I was hospitalized once for how severe my cramps were. So as a result, I was put on the pill like really young to help control that and stop that.
The worst thing about my period, actually, it's really frustrating. For some reason, my digestive system just goes crazy. Like 2 days before, well, no, not even. The morning of my period, my digestive system just like freaks out, and I'm oftentimes just like stuck in bed because I can't move, and I feel like there's some sort of war going on in my body, and there's nothing that I can do about it. And I've researched this on all sorts of like medical websites, and nobody has any like conclusive evidence of like, or like anything conclusive about what could be happening inside me. And I guess they say like, well, you know, try eating better around period time, but really it doesn't help. Like my body just rejects everything, and there's no way of getting around it. And so usually I have to spend like the first like 4 or 5 hours of the first morning of my period just like staying in bed until finally I like get enough energy, or like my stomach's a little bit more settled where I can actually go somewhere. It's awful.
The worst thing about my period is that it's super long, and the first couple of days cramps are a bitch. So before I was on birth control, my periods would be about 8 to 9 days long, which is horrid. Like these people who talk about having 3-day periods, I just want to tell them like, suck it. Like it's horrible. Now that I'm on the pill, my periods are still 6 days long, which is still very long compared to average. And then I can get super emotional the first day of my period. The past like 3 months, I know I've like broken down and cried. And I'm like talking to my mom or my dad on the phone, and they just don't know what to do with like a super emotional, freaking out Beth. But I get over it, and life moves on.
The worst thing, I would say, like, well, I used to get pretty bad cramps, but those have subsided. And now I just, like, my boobs will hurt so bad. Like, a week before, it will just be, like, lying flat on my back. I'll be like, oh, they hurt, or, so they hurt. And, like, I break out a lot before my period. And then I will, I don't know, just like, it just sucks because it's messy. And like, I ruined so many nice panties over my period. Like, I'm like, I have a tampon in, but I wear a panty liner just in case. But no, somehow my underwear gets ruined, and you don't even realize it like until like a few hours later. And then it's like, those are ruined, and you have to buy a new pair, but you can't because they don't sell that style anymore. It was like your favorite panties, but now they're like period panties now. That's why I don't like my period. The worst part is, like, back to that previous question, I think I get like really emotional when I'm on my period. Like, I cry a lot. Yeah.
I'm just really lazy, so I hate having to like change it all the time and like having to check. And I definitely agree with like the panty thing. Like, you have to buy a lot more, which sucks because they cost a lot. And yeah, that's about it.
You know, for a long time, nothing really. It was just like, ugh, period. Gotta go through it every month. But recently, I've been getting a lot of cramps. I don't know, and I think you know, your hormones align with other girls' hormones. And my roommate gets really bad cramps. So I think now I'm starting to get bad cramps because of like our hormones combining and everything. So that kind of sucks. I get really, really bad cramps, and like I think I like didn't go to class one day because I had really bad cramps. So yeah, that's kind of the worst part, the cramps. But other than that, it's manageable. Nothing too bad.
Oh, the cramps. Yes.